What's up, everybody, and welcome to the Box Out Boys podcast. This is the box score episode, instant recap to the hottest game in the NBA tonight. And that, of course, is the only game left. Game 7 of the Eastern Conference Finals. I got Chris, the stats man, with me here tonight. Joey is having technical issues and is not able to join us tonight, but he will be back next week. Chris, so just give me your instant reaction. Game 7, man. What happened? What do you think?
Hey.
Oh, hey.
My reaction is Miami missed 9 field goals in the fourth quarter straight at one point, and it just felt like they could have won this game. Boston was clearly the better team, but they just weren't really playing like that. There were some times when they're talking about Tatum being more aggressive, and Boston's got more talent, but it looked like Miami. If Miami could have, I feel like Miami lost this more. I don't know.
Yeah, it's kind of weird. A wire-to-wire win for Boston. So, I mean, they had it. I mean, what was the biggest the league got to? About 19 or something at one point?
Yeah, it was pretty.
Sounds about right. But it felt like it was between like 10 to 15 most of the game. Miami had cut it to like 7 or 8 several times. Just felt like they couldn't get over the hump. Then that fourth quarter came. He said they missed all those shots in a row. But still managed to cut it to 2 with under a minute left. So very winnable game. And like you were saying, you make a couple plays earlier in the game, you get things going. Maybe don't dig a hole as deep as they dug, and maybe they could have won this game. I kept feeling like Boston was going to take this. Like I was like, but it was weird. Miami kept hanging around, and the way Jimmy Butler was playing, especially early on in those, I think the second quarter, he went off when he had 21 points in something in the second quarter. That was, I mean, he was looking like he could maybe do something scary or win the game just by himself because there wasn't getting much help outside of Bam. But yeah, I don't know. It's weird, man. Miami almost snuck out a win.
They almost snuck out a win. It almost felt like they should have snuck it out.
Yeah,
it kind of reminded me of was it the last Eastern Conference Finals with Bucks Nuts? Was that what it was last year, right?
Bucks
and
nuts.
KD went nuts, and it was just a foot on the line that kept him. It wasn't the conference finals; it was like the semis.
It was the second round, yeah.
Yeah, and he played all 48 minutes in that game, just like Butler did today. So it just felt like, oh man, like they're gonna do it, but. The Nets felt like they blew that game. That's how I feel with Miami right now. It's like, Miami could have had it.
Yeah, I think I'm with you on that. That Miami could have had it. I don't know about should have had it, but they very, very well.
They 100% should not have had it. I mean, Victor Oladipo is playing 32 minutes. Max Struss is looking like does that guy make over $1 million? What's his salary? This guy makes like $600K maybe right now, or he gets 1.6, I guess, but. It's a weird team that like they kind of just like grinded their way, to get here throughout the whole season, and but Boston just looked bigger, more talented, and ultimately got it done.
Yeah, and it was really like a game of runs in this game in particular where I felt like Boston would have like a 7-0 run, and then Miami would come back and sneak the lead back. Pretty back and forth throughout most of the game as far as the runs were concerned.
Yeah,
not a lot from Hero, especially in the second half. He maybe could have been useful there, but
he probably got hurt again. He played 6 minutes, but he wasn't doing much. Yeah,
I mean his offense could have been something. Hey, Boston looks.
Oh,
excited.
They definitely missed him.
Yeah. I'm watching the end right now. Tatum with his Kobe Bryant armband. That was pretty cool. Yeah, I did like that. I was like, but you gotta win that game. You gotta win that. You gotta win that one, bud. You can't lose that game.
And the weirdest thing with the Celtics team I want to call out is Marcus Smart again led the team in field goal attempts. He had 22. Tatum only had 21. Wow. That can't keep happening, can it? Like it's like a Russell Westbrook OKC kind of thing. Like you shouldn't be taking all those shots, Marcus. He looked good early. I mean, he went 3 for 10 at the end, but he had a couple early on in the game. But I don't know, man. I'm kind of feeling like like going into the finals. I don't know how I feel about this Boston team. I feel like they're a more talented team, but it just seeing them on the court, they never have that aggressive to like really. Really, put a team away.
Yeah, I'm
But
kind of curious. Joey's favorite word of the playoffs has been championship pedigree. I'm wondering if they are going to have that extra gear. They're going up against a team that's been there 6 times now.
6-8.
6-8. Hey, it's just like our Chicago Bulls. Pretty wild to think about that. But they're going up against a team that knows how to win. And Boston Boston's played tough. We start getting into a little bit of the preview here, finals preview.
Yeah.
Boston has won 2 road game 7s now, back to back. They're definitely battle tested. I mean, they look to be a complete team. Very much like the Suns last year, in my opinion, but maybe with a better overall star in Tatum. You said Marcus Smart is taking a lot of shots. He is playing good. He's defensive player of the year, and then Brown has been looking pretty solid too. But looking ahead to the finals, Chris, what is your just your overall thought about them and their matchup against Golden State?
It's the best matchup you could have asked for, I think, of all the teams. I think when you look back on this, like the best teams in each conference really made it. Like we never thought the Suns were the best team. It was always Golden State. And then in the East, like Boston really was the better team. They proved it over Milwaukee and Miami. They had to go through both of them. So
yeah, Boston for sure. I would say that Boston in the East definitely looked like the best team. I mean, the Phoenix was the best team all season, but then when it came playoff time, they did not look like the best team.
No,
Golden State has looked like the best team in the West throughout the entire playoffs.
I think it was Golden State, man. They've been looking fantastic. Like this team is so exciting, and they actually kill their opponents. The Maverick series could have gone 6 or 7, if a couple of things broke right. But the Warriors with Clay, with Wiggins is looking like a whole different person for this team. This is the perfect matchup because you look at it like, okay, we got Smart against Curry, we got Clay against Jaylen Brown, we got Wiggins, Tatum, Draymond, Al Horford. Then I guess Looney and Grant Williams.
Yeah.
But and then off the bench, you got Poole and who's off the Celtics bench is actually kind of worth
Pritchard,
noting.
Grant Williams.
Grant, if he's not, Grant, Robert Williams, Derek White, I guess. So I think maybe it's just Warriors' depth is a little bit better with Poole coming off the bench. I was gonna say Bielitsa, but Kuminga, if you can. Yeah, I don't know. I really like this Warriors team to kind of win this. I like that they actually have team basketball. It says before the pod with Miami and Boston. There wasn't really like any plays. It didn't really feel like it was just like, all right, now your turn, now my turn, now your turn, now my turn. And the Warriors just have a little bit more rhythm than I wasn't seeing from Boston. So, yeah.
They definitely have great rhythm. Their offense is always in motion, very fluid. They move the ball a lot. They cut to the basket a lot. Defensively, they're also very tough. They have a lot of different looks that they can show Boston. A couple things that I'm very curious about, and I'm gonna pick Golden State whenever we finally make picks or however we do this. I'm gonna pick Golden State only because they've been there before and they've won. It's Steph Curry, it's Draymond, all those guys. But honestly, as far as picking this series, I am a complete coin flip in my opinion. I think it's going to be. I think there's a couple of things that I could see right away. I don't know if Golden State has played a team that is this good defensively yet in the playoffs. And I don't know if, and obviously Boston hasn't played a team that can shoot as well as Golden State can shoot. So,
yeah, I was thinking about that too. The Warriors kind of had an easy road, right? Like,
essentially.
Denver, and then the Grizzlies were under. I mean, Denver was just Jokic. Mm-hmm. The Grizzlies were a young team.
Grizzlies aren't ready yet.
They weren't, And then you got the Mavericks, who are basically like the Nuggets in a way. It's just a single guy.
Yeah.
And now they got to go against a Boston team who has 3 guys who can explode. Grant Williams. I mean, even Al Horford had a 30-point game in this playoffs, right? So who knows? And that's where I'm like kind of hesitant too. I'm like, I want to go Warriors because the championship pedigree, the veteran status of that team. But Boston just feels like the more talented, bigger team that could be like the young guns that could really come in and take this. I don't know.
Yeah, I think it's going to come down to a few key matchups. I think you highlighted them there when you were kind of running down the rosters. But it's going to be Marcus Smart versus Steph Curry. How does he defend Steph? If he can kind of limit Steph and limit that Yeah, he's the heart of their offense. If you can limit Steph a lot, that changes the game for sure. And then Wiggins on Tatum. If Wiggins can do what he did
Yeah.
against Doncic, and kind of slow him down a little bit, or at times, I mean, Doncic was still going off in the series, but kind of be an effective one-on-one defender and having to double, that's huge for Golden State. A couple of numbers I saw, just kind of some fun stuff, I think, here. I'm calling this the 109 factor.
All right.
So in the Miami series, Boston lost every game that Miami won or scored 109 points. The 3 games they lost was 109, 111, something like 120. In the Golden State in the series against the Mavericks did not score less than 109. So that's kind of curious there. So, obviously, better defensive matchup there in Boston. Can they hold them down? But I think if they can score, 115, 120, I think that's going to be a problem for Boston, even though Boston has had some, explosive offensive outputs in this playoff run. I think if Golden State can continue to score as well as they have been, I think it's going to be a problem. Another thing I kind of noticed is that, Golden State has yet to lose a home game in the playoffs. Yeah. And so the Celtics haven't lost back-to-back games yet. So one of those is going to break in the first 2 games in Golden State. So either Boston's going to get their split 1-1 and continue their streak of not losing 2 games in a row, or Golden State's going to hold their home court. And I think if they do, I think that's trouble for Boston if they can't beat them on Golden State's floor. But some other numbers I saw: Boston's offensive rating in the conference finals was 113 or 113.9, basically 114, and the defensive rating was 108. So they were playing really good defense. Golden State's offensive rating was 123.9, so basically 124, almost 10 points better than Boston's offensive rating, and then still a respectable 114 and a half defensive rating. So I think that's the key, matchup in my eyes is Golden State's offense versus Boston's defense, which wins.
And good on Golden State for winning their home games. I know the average ticket price for those games are like $300 for some nosebleeds. So
whoa,
the fact I don't know if it does, but the highest in the league. So seeing them, give the fans their due has been nice. But I don't know, man. Like, I know you guys are gonna. I keep going back and forth on this. I know you and Joey are picking the Warriors here, and I'm like, there's a part of me that wants to take the Celtics to play contrarian, but at the same time,
yeah,
how are you gonna go against a team who doesn't look like, a lot of times with the veteran team, if they kind of look, a step slower, or like, there's something missing with them. It's kind of like the Lakers with Magic and James Worthy against the Bulls the first time. It's like, okay, it's a veteran team, but like they're kind of, these young guns are going to come in here and take it. It's like, is Boston going to be that? It doesn't. I just don't see it. I don't really want Boston to win. So
yeah, I mean. Yeah. I don't see it either, but I'm with you. Like, I think it's becoming this clear cut decision that like Golden State's going to win this, and it's like this sort of coronation of Steph Curry. Like, people are talking about him winning the Finals MVP. Like, he's going to get his first Finals MVP. ESPN's been debating where is he as far as top 10, top 5 player, all time. Just when he made his 6 finals, so it feels like this coronation kind of. And that always makes me nervous. I'm like, hey, you guys might be sleeping on Boston here. But at the same time, I can't pick against Golden State the way they're playing right now. And like you, I'm kind of not really rooting for Boston, but
right. And like, yeah, so like, I mean, Tatum's gonna, like, Butler was just insane. Let's go back. I want to go back to Heat and Celtics real quick. Jimmy Butler played his ass off, and the problem is, I think he knew it. That's why he went to go take the hero shot at the end there that kind of cost him the game. Like, imagine if he just gets a layup. It's a tie game. Man, it just. But anyways, like, is Tatum going to take the next step to really go over the top, or is Marcus Smart going to have a game? Like, I don't know. I don't know what to make of this. The thing is, like, Boston's really not that big. Like, it's Al Horford.
Yeah.
Against Draymond. Who do you want? Like, I probably want Draymond, but
that was another thing I kind of saw was Looney's offensive rebound rate.
Oh, yeah.
How many boards he was getting. if he can continue that kind of production on the offensive glass and getting those extra possessions for Golden State, that's going to be a problem again for Boston. That's the Mavericks. It was kind of a crippling factor for the Mavericks and why they couldn't really make any headway against Golden State. But
Kevon Looney in the last 6 games. So the last game of the Memphis series and then the 5 in Dallas, 18 rebounds, 6, 12, 12, 5, and then 22. So the guy's like, he's on it, right?
Yeah.
And it was weird in that Miami-Boston series where Miami, I still don't like seeing just 4 guards and a center out there. The center being Bam, right?
Yeah.
So you have like a Struss, Jimmy Butler, Lowry, and Oladipo. And it's like, you don't have it. You just, and, we'll see. Yeah. The thing with Golden State is they got Draymond and Looney both out there. So it kind of helps with the boards a little bit more. Grant Williams for Boston's only 6'4". Yeah.
That's me big. And then turnovers. Boston gave up a lot of turnovers against Miami. And I don't know, was that Miami turning them over more than, Boston being sloppy? If Golden State, can kind of keep those turnovers coming. The Mavericks actually didn't turn the ball over a ton against Golden State, so they weren't out in transition running. But if Boston is given the ball up to Golden State, that gets them rolling even more than just their own half-court offense when they get out.
And running. Golden State's notorious about they're always the worst turnover team. Yeah. It's almost by design, right?
Yeah,
the way they're so careless with the ball.
Yeah, so. that makes something I'll definitely be watching those first couple of games. That turnover rate, the turnover battle, the rebounding battle, and then just kind of defensively those matchups that we were talking about. I think those are going to be very interesting. And then obviously the shooting. If Boston can shoot the way they shot, in the Milwaukee series, it's certainly going to get real interesting here. So,
yeah. Well, here's a question. So, do you think a team who does not win the 3-point battle can win the game? So, in the last game, Dallas went 17 of 42, while Golden State was 14 of 36. So technically, they shot better from 3, but Golden State still won. But I feel like I need to look this up. But every game for Miami and Boston, whoever shot the ball better won the game.
Yeah.
So are we going to get a game where the team actually shoots better from 3, but they actually still lose the game?
In this series, I would say no, because I think that's going to be some of their bread and butter for both teams. Golden State shoots the 3, obviously. Boston, they're relying a lot on that. So, no, in this series, I think if you win that 3-point battle, I think you're going to...
It could be as simple as that.
Yeah,
which is kind of weird. But,
well, I mean, there's probably a larger topic here about how the 3-point revolution has kind of maybe changed these playoff matchups into just who can shoot the most threes, and kind of the way the series, especially Boston and Miami, it was blowout, but back and forth blowout. So
it was back and forth.
It was back and forth. It was kind of weird, but the games themselves weren't all that good until Game 6. But
yeah, Game 6 was the fantastic game. Game 7 was fine too.
Yeah,
I wanted a little bit more, I think.
Yeah, it just never. I felt like it never had the juice until that very, very end, when it kind of got real interesting there for a minute, and then Jimmy Butler takes that bad 3. So thanks, Jimmy. Boston, you can thank Jimmy Butler for
that. Was
well, you think that's about it here?
Yeah. What's your pick?
Golden State in 7.
So Joey said Golden State in 6.
Oh.
I gotta go Golden State. It's Golden State. Probably in 6. I almost want to say 5, but you gotta give a little bit more respect to Boston than that.
Yeah, if it's 5, I would be very surprised, but
that would have been like something wrong happened.
Yeah, I also I don't see Golden State winning in Boston. That's also kind of hard.
Right, that's why it's like, okay, maybe we'll be 7.
Yeah.
But that's why I wanted to go 5. Because I'm like, they could just rip it up. But again, like we were saying, Warriors hadn't really had – this is the best team that the Warriors are going to have played this entire playoffs.
Yeah, I think so. But not the best player, though, yet. I think Doncic was the best player.
Oh, yeah. You know what? I've been going against Golden State this entire series. I'm just going to pick Boston. Give me Boston in 6.
Boston at 6.
It's done. Yeah.
It's done. All right. Well, I think with our picks in, recap done, and we'll have Joey back. We're going to go Thursday next week, right? We're going to come in after the game. So from here on out, no more like weekly episodes. We're just going to do these sort of short recap episodes after the games. First one will be Thursday, obviously, and then I believe Monday night is the game after that. So we will be back in action next Thursday, recapping the NBA Finals. They're here. All right, last question here, Chris. Are you excited for the finals?
Oh, yeah. Are you kidding?
Kidding. All right. I don't know. Felt like the conference finals didn't have the juice that some of the second round matchups did.
That's the thing, though. Like, this whole playoff has been so fun. Like, Grizzlies Timberwolves was obviously one of the best series we had.
Yeah.
Suns Mavericks was fantastic. Yeah, just this last round was a bummer.
Yeah.
But no, I'm back up. I'm back
You're
up. Let's go.
You're back up. Let's go. Boston, Golden State. All right. We'll see you guys next Thursday. Until next time, box out.